what happens when beauty becomes power, and power becomes obsession? Lauren Sanchez's face didn't just change, it evolved. And with every transformation, the whispers grew louder. From subtle jawline shifts to a sculpted body that seemed too perfect to be chance, from the wedding that looked more like a global showcase to the fallout that turned admiration into suspicion. This isn't just the story of one woman's makeover. It's the story of how image, wealth, and reinvention collide in Hollywood's most dangerous game. There are secrets that ruin friendships, and there are secrets that destroy marriages. But once in a generation comes a secret so deep, so carefully hidden, that when it surfaces, it does not just end a marriage. It changes the way the world looks at power, beauty, and love. This is one of those secrets, the hidden document that few have ever seen, that may hold the key to the collapse of a $200 billion marriage. A document that revealed not lawyers, not contracts, not court battles, but something far stranger and far more personal. When Jeff Bezos, the richest man in the world, uncovered the full record of his partner's surgeries, even his vast fortune could not soften the blow because the money was never the true shock. The bombshell was buried inside those medical records, a secret powerful enough to rattle billionaire circles and shatter reputations behind Lauren Sanchez's dazzling Hollywood smile. There was a transformation few could imagine, one of the most expensive and extreme cosmetic journeys ever attempted for years. Magazines wrote about Lauren aging gracefully. They said her beauty came from good skincare and maybe a few tweaks here and there. Fans believed it too. They thought she was simply glowing from love and wealth. But behind closed doors, whispers told another story. A story that began in Beverly Hills in the year 2018. The very year her romance with Bezos ignited insiders. Whispered that between 2018 and 2024, Lauren quietly spent more than $2.3 million reconstructing her appearance. Step by step, she opened secret accounts to hide the payments even from Jeff himself. She created a new image carefully engineered to look effortless, yet nothing about it was effortless. Each surgery was planned, each recovery hidden behind excuses, wellness retreats, silent meditation trips, carefully cropped selfies. This was not about impulsive beauty fixes. This was about strategy. Coincidence or not, the transformation began the same year her relationship with Bezos began. Every sign points to deliberate reinvention to match the image of the world's richest man. Phase 1 was the face, and it started with her nose. Lauren turned to a celebrity surgeon in Beverly Hills, paying hundreds of thousands for a rhinoplasty. That was more than surgery. It was art, private suites, luxury recovery packages, 24-hour nurses, all part of the deal. But one surgery was not enough. Within months, she returned for revisions. She was chasing what she called the perfect billionaire wife. Nose insiders said her obsession was not with beauty alone, but with image. The kind of flawless face that could stand next to a man worth hundreds of billions and still command attention after the nose came. The eyes, eyelid surgery erased puffiness. Tightened skin gave her a younger, fresher gaze, one that paparazzi lenses could not easily betray. Soon, she followed the trend of fox threading lifting. The corners of her eyes into an exotic, elongated shape repeated every 6 months at staggering costs. Each procedure not just about looking good, but about looking current, as though beauty itself had to evolve in real time. Then came the facelift. Not the heavy-handed version, but the weekend lift chosen for its fast recovery. She vanished for 2 weeks, claiming a wellness retreat in Malibu. But behind the retreat doors were bandages, swelling, and whispered instructions from nurses when she returned her followers. Thought detox had given her a glow in reality. It was stitches dissolving beneath her skin. This was only the beginning of her reinvention phase. One reshaped her face. Phase 2 would reshape her body by 2019. Lauren had already altered her nose, eyes, and jawline, but ambition drove her further. She sought body perfection, a sculpted silhouette worthy of red carpets, yachts, and flashing cameras. Her first major step was a tummy tuck combined with high definition. Liposuction, it carved visible lines across her abdomen, but the real cost was recovery. 6 weeks in compression garments, liquid diets, luxury aftercare, all hidden behind smiling posts and staged appearances. 2 months later, she escalated to a Brazilian Butt lift importing a surgeon from Brazil to Los Angeles for the operation, insiders estimated the cost at nearly $1 million, once accommodations, aftercare, and security were added. But the procedure came with complications requiring multiple revisions. She endured them anyway, determined to achieve a shape that mirrored the curves of Instagram stars and reality icons. The transformation continued with breast surgery, but not implants. Instead, she chose fat transfers, a newer method, more natural, but requiring multiple steps and more expenses, followed by nipple repositioning and other refinements that tabloids never suspected. Yet the cameras captured the results in designer gowns on red carpets. All this was only the foundation, because what truly consumed Lauren was the constant maintenance the industry called them, tweakments, small, constant procedures repeated again and again. She became a platinum client in clinics spending tens of thousands each month on fillers, Botox with gold infusions, stem cell microneedling plasma facials with microscopic gold particles, thermage, tightening facelifts, every detail. Meticulously managed, her calendar was not just dinners and yacht trips. It was recovery schedules, pain management, and discreet check-ins with Beverly Hills doctors. Yet through it all, she maintained secrecy. Friends noticed unexplained absences. Jeff himself reportedly never realized the scale of the transformation. She kept a separate account to hide the money. From him carefully funneling payments so no one could connect the dots to the outside world. She appeared effortless to the insiders. She was becoming something engineered, and as the surgeries grew more ambitious, so did the whispers. Was this love, or was this reinvention to fit the role of Mrs. Bezos? Phase 3, the most extreme phase, was still to come, and it was designed for what tabloids called the wedding of the century. By the time the year 2019 arrived, Lauren Sanchez had already reshaped her face, nose, eyes, jawline, eyelids, each step hidden under excuses, retreats, detox stories, and carefully staged photos. But she was not finished. She had only completed the first act of her transformation. Insiders called it Phase 1. The Phase 2 would be the body, and it was even more ambitious. Her first step in Phase 2 was a tummy tuck, the kind celebrities whispered about, not just to remove excess skin, but to carve a sculpted flat abdomen. Her surgeon, known in Hollywood for reputation as much as results, combined the tuck with high-definition liposuction, which etched visible lines along her stomach muscles. The cost was staggering, insiders placed it at more than $500,000 once recovery services, luxury clinics, and private nurses were added. But the price was not the only burden. Recovery lasted 6 grueling weeks. Lauren, wrapped in compression garments, unable to move without pain, surviving on a strict liquid diet while being attended by a team that charged as much as some people earn in a year. Yet Lauren was relentless where others would pause. She pushed forward 2 months later. She moved on to one of the most dangerous procedures in the world, the Brazilian butt lift, flying in a specialist from Brazil, complete with his surgical team accommodations, security, and private care. Insiders whispered the bill stretched to $750,000. But even that was only the beginning. Complications forced her to undergo 3 additional revision surgeries, each costly, each painful. But Lauren was chasing a vision of perfection shaped by social media. She wanted to look not just wealthy, but current, an image that could compete with influencers half her age. After reshaping her midsection and curves, she turned to her chest, not with implants, but with fat transfer, a newer method that promised natural results, yet required multiple sessions. Liposuction from one part of the body carefully grafted into the breast, followed by reshaping, repositioning, even subtle reductions to ensure symmetry. The combined price soared to nearly $100,000, with another $25,000 for nipple adjustments. Insiders said the results were striking. Red carpet gowns seemed to fit differently. Paparazzi cameras caught a new silhouette. Yet no one beyond her inner circle knew the physical toll it required. But the real hallmark of Phase 2 was the maintenance. The endless cycle of procedures designed not to make dramatic changes, but to preserve results, to keep the illusion of effortless perfection. Lauren became what Beverly Hills clinics called a platinum client. She spent $2,500 each month on basic treatments, Botox infused with flecks of gold for glow fillers, not only in lips or cheeks, but in temples, jawline, and even earlobes. Insiders estimated she spent $50,000 a month on these routine enhancements she embraced. Experimental science fiction sounding treatments, microneedling with stem cells harvested from her own fat, plasma facials infused with microscopic gold particles, thermage radio frequency, tightening high-frequency facelifts, some sessions costing $30,000 or more each repeated regularly. Her calendar filled with medical appointments paparazzi never saw yet. Her social media told another story, smiling photos on beaches, red carpet glam dinners with family vacations with Bezos. What the world saw was effortless beauty. What lay behind was endless recovery suites, whispered explanations for bruises, excuses for absences. She claimed wellness retreats, meditation escapes, digital detoxes. But insiders knew the truth. Her life was surgery, recovery, repeat. Friends began noticing the secrecy. She grew evasive about her disappearances. Even Bezos himself reportedly remained unaware of the full scope. Her separate account shielded the financial paper trail, even as millions poured into clinics. By the time Phase 2 was complete, Lauren had built a body that tabloids later called billionaire perfection. But as 2021 turned into 2022, whispers began that Lauren was preparing for the wedding of the century. And with those whispers came the most ambitious stage of all. Insiders called it Phase 3. Phase 3 was not about hiding small flaws. It was about creating a flawless version of herself for the cameras of the world. Phase 3 began with a full facelift far more invasive than the weekend lift of earlier years. This was a 6-hour operation, tightening facial muscles, lifting brows, reshaping folds, and even liposuction beneath the chin. The price alone more than $100,000. But the true cost was in recovery, weeks of bandages, swelling silence. Her disappearance explained again through the familiar excuse of a retreat. The results were striking. Paparazzi flashes revealed a face younger, sharper, perfectly symmetrical. A mask of perfection designed to withstand the harshest light of cameras and the closest scrutiny of tabloids. But Lauren was not finished. She pursued what insiders dubbed the Bezos Special, a mysterious blend of stem cell facials, radio frequency, tightening, and imported peptide injections from Europe at a cost of $35,000 per session, repeated quarterly. Her ambitions stretched beyond face and body to procedures few even knew existed. Insiders revealed a trip to a private clinic in Switzerland where she underwent intimate reshaping, followed by luxury recovery accommodations. Then another enhancement marketed as intimacy augmentation, priced at more than $150,000. Shocking. Not for the cost, but for the lengths she was willing to endure in pursuit of perfection. The transformations grew even stranger. Lauren flew to South Korea to alter her voice through vocal cord reshaping. Seeking a softer, younger tone, the procedure required weeks of silence, during which she claimed on Instagram she was on a meditation retreat. In truth, she was relearning to speak. Insiders said the price exceeded $600,000, with luxury medical hotels included. She even underwent reconstructive surgery on her feet with an Italian specialist, reshaping toe bones so she could wear designer heels for long hours. Comfortably, the recovery forced her to learn walking again. Her life had become a carousel of surgeries, recoveries, and carefully crafted absences, each step hidden behind a curated image. By now, psychiatrists observing her case argued that Lauren was not chasing beauty, but perfection, what they called billionaire wife syndrome. The relentless pressure to embody an impossible ideal when standing beside the richest man alive. Every flaw erased, every line smoothed, every detail engineered to meet the standard of status itself. But with each step, Lauren risked something more valuable than money. Authenticity. Insiders whispered she no longer looked like the woman Jeff had first loved. Instead, she resembled a carefully constructed image of herself when the wedding finally came. Tabloids dubbed it the event of the century. Her beauty radiant, her image flawless. But behind the glamour lay years of hidden procedures and millions spent in secrecy, and that secrecy would come at the highest cost, because what Lauren never expected was that Jeff would eventually discover the records, the full scope of her transformation hidden in a private account. By the time the year 2024 arrived, Lauren Sanchez had nearly completed the most expensive transformation in Hollywood history. Her face reshaped, her body sculpted, her voice softened, her very feet reconstructed to fit designer heels. Insiders estimated more than $2.3 million spent across surgeries, tweakments, and experimental treatments, each hidden behind wellness retreats, meditation trips, and carefully staged social media posts to the world. She looked effortless. Glowing, youthful, timeless to her followers, she was simply in love. But beneath the surface secrecy had become her second skin. For years, Jeff Bezos remained unaware of the scale of this transformation, though whispers circled in billionaire circles. Though friends noticed unexplained absences, though other spouses raised eyebrows, Jeff himself trusted the woman at his side. Insiders later said he would have loved her without a single surgery. He admired her charisma, her energy, her ability to light up a room, yet Lauren convinced herself that perfection was the only way to stand beside the world's richest man. Then came the discovery, a single hidden document never before seen by the public, a record buried in a private account, she thought. No one would find, insiders say, it was routine financial checks that uncovered it. An account not linked to shared wealth, not tied to their main networks, but carrying years of transactions to clinics across Los Angeles, Switzerland, South Korea, and Italy. Each payment coded, each expense discreet, but together painting a picture impossible to ignore. The records revealed the full scope, not just the nose surgeries or the facelifts, but the endless revisions, the experimental procedures, the intimacy enhancements, the vocal cord, reshaping, even the foot reconstruction. Every detail documented, every payment signed off by Lauren herself. For Jeff, the shock was not the money after all. He was a man who could spend billions on rockets, yachts, and investments. Without blinking, the shock was the secrecy. The realization that the woman beside him had been rebuilding herself layer by layer without his knowledge, without his trust for years. He believed the wellness retreats, the meditation getaways, the digital detoxes. Now he saw them for what they were: cover stories for recoveries. One insider close to him later said, Jeff felt tricked not by beauty, but by the illusion. He realized too late that the woman he loved, vibrant, spontaneous, authentic, had been quietly erasing herself in pursuit of perfection. The betrayal cut deeper than any financial loss. No fortune could soften the emotional blow. Psychologists later called it the paradox of perfection. The more someone chases an idealized image, the further they drift from authenticity, and authenticity is the core of intimacy in trying to become the perfect billionaire wife. Lauren may have lost the very qualities that first drew Jeff to her. The discovery did not immediately end the marriage, but it fractured something essential. Insiders described a silence, a distance that grew between them. Public smiles remained. Yacht trips continued, dinners, photographed by paparazzi, still looked glamorous. But behind the scenes, trust had been eroded. Conversations grew tense. Whispers turned into arguments, and slowly the foundations of their relationship began to crack. By mid-2024, the whispers had become undeniable. Reports circulated of strain. Insiders spoke of separate lives, of nights spent apart, of Jeff burying himself in business, while Lauren pursued yet more tweakments, determined to maintain the flawless image that had cost her so much. Tabloids speculated, but few understood the truth. The hidden records had changed everything. When the separation finally became public, the world gasped at the numbers. A divorce settlement valued at nearly $200 billion in assets, one of the costliest separations in history. Yet behind the headlines of yachts, mansions, and stock divisions lay something far more human. Not a battle of lawyers or contracts, but the wreckage of secrecy and surgery for Jeff. It was a painful lesson. No amount of wealth can buy honesty. He reportedly confided to friends that he would have loved her as she was, that the surgeries were never needed, that what mattered was the woman, not the image for Lauren. It was the realization that perfection had come at a cost. She never expected the cost of authenticity, the erosion of trust, the collapse of the love she sought to protect. The public consumed the story as scandal. But psychologists and cultural critics saw something larger, a cautionary tale about Hollywood, about billionaire circles, about the unbearable pressure placed on women to embody impossible ideals, where beauty becomes currency and surgery becomes survival. Lauren's transformation was extreme, but not unique. History offered many echoes. Joan Rivers, who openly joked about countless surgeries, Donatella Versace, whose facelifts and augmentations became global talking points, Kim Kardashian, who admitted to procedures to maintain a brand. Yet what set Lauren apart was not only the scale, But the secrecy and the fallout. Her case rippled through elite circles. Surgeons whispered about the Bezos case, warning wealthy clients that secrecy could be more dangerous than surgery. Reputation managers began drafting new protocols to handle cosmetic confidentiality. Private security teams expanded their roles. To include medical discretion in the billionaire world, Lauren's story became a symbol of what happens when the pursuit of perfection collides with the need for authenticity. And for the public, the image remained dramatic. The glamorous wedding, the glittering gowns, the photographs on yachts. But behind the headlines lay a darker truth, that beauty engineered at such cost can never guarantee happiness, and that love, once fractured by secrecy, may never fully heal begins with the wedding makeover, where Lauren Sanchez moved from the quiet whispers of speculation to the blinding spotlight of the world's most extravagant ceremony. And here, her transformation reached a point that no one could ignore. Observers claimed that her look was no longer her own, but a creation sculpted by designers, stylists, and perhaps the guiding hand of surgeons who had turned her into a near-flawless vision. The wedding was not just a union between Lauren and Jeff Bezos, it was the ultimate reveal, a stage upon which her perfected image would be broadcast to billions. Her hair shimmered with a golden shine. Her cheekbones caught the light in a way that seemed engineered, not accidental. Her figure wrapped in couture looked more like a design than a body. And critics whispered about the hours spent in clinics and the procedures hidden beneath the veil of glamour. In this phase, the transformation was no longer subtle. It was intentional and unapologetic. It was about declaring dominance and beauty. As power, some called it, inspiring others called it calculated, but all agreed it was impossible to ignore. Lauren had become not just a partner to the world's richest man, but a symbol, a carefully curated creation whose appearance seemed to evolve. At the speed of wealth, the wedding photos spread like wildfire, and with them came commentary from every angle. Some praised her elegance, while others dissected her jawline, lips, and figure with the precision of investigators determined to expose what they believed could not be natural. This phase represented the climax of her physical transformation. Every detail scrutinized, every image analyzed, as if the world could decode the truth of her evolution through pixels alone. And as the speculation grew, the debate turned to something larger than beauty or surgery. It became about identity, authenticity, and the lengths to which someone might go to maintain control of their image. The critics argued that Lauren had crossed a line from enhancement to reinvention, that she had built a new self upon the foundation of the old, and that this new self was designed to serve the narrative of power, status, and influence. The fallout was inevitable, for with every rise comes the backlash soon after. The wedding. The discussion shifted from awe to doubt, from celebration to suspicion. Journalists dug deeper, experts weighed, and analysts compared photos. Frame by frame, in the court of public opinion, erupted was Lauren Sanchez, the same woman from her past, or had she become an entirely new creation? The whispers of surgeons, stylists, and insiders fueled the flames. And as the dust of the wedding settled, one truth remained unshaken. The transformation was undeniable, whether natural or assisted. Whether born of genetics or crafted by skill, Lauren had become a figure reborn. And in that rebirth, she invited both fascination and judgment. Phase 4, the fallout, was not just about looks. It was about meaning. The transformation of Lauren Sanchez became a symbol of the modern era of beauty, where wealth and access could shape a person into a near mythic figure. Her image was no longer just hers. It belonged to the public, to critics, to admirers, and to those who dissected her every move. Her face and body were no longer just her own, but battlegrounds for debates about authenticity, feminism, celebrity, and the cost of perfection. And in this phase, the story shifts from Lauren as an individual to Lauren as an idea. She became a mirror, held up to society, reflecting back the obsession with beauty, power, and reinvention. Her choices, real or rumored, sparked questions about what it means to be authentic in a world where image can be engineered, where the line between self and creation blurs. The fallout was not only the commentary, but the realization that Lauren Sanchez had become more than a partner to Jeff Bezos, more than a media personality, more than a bride. She had become a case study, a phenomenon, a conversation that would not end with the wedding, but echo through every appearance, every photo, every speculation that followed. At the end of the day, Hollywood isn't just about glamour and red carpets. It's about power, secrets, and the scandals that often stay hidden until the truth forces its way into the spotlight. Whether it's courtroom drama, relationship, chaos, or behind-the-scenes deals, one thing is certain: the story never ends here, and as always, we'll be watching, digging, and uncovering the pieces others try to keep buried.